Okay, well, here we are. We are on our ninth day of seminar two. So, wow, it's gonna be the whole treatment protocol from one end to the other today. Just once. You may be receiving it or you may be giving it, but it'll be the whole thing all at once. So, okay, and I think we're ready. So I'm going
Yes.
to pass it over to you, John.
Yeah, we're going to review our healing sounds today. So let's go ahead and find the Wuji posture and we will do that. Good. So, as always, let's take a moment. Feel your feet on the floor, getting a sense of tapping into the energies of the earth. As you breathe, bringing your awareness to your structure, allowing everything to kind of settle in so everything's working evenly, nothing's working harder than the rest. As we allow the knees to be flexible, tailbone to drop, firmness to come to the perineum, the anal sphincter to close, slight outward movement of the knees, of the legs, so that you're riding a small pony and your knees are over your big toes. Get a sense of your spine going more erect, as if you're being pulled up gently by the divine from the crown of the head. Let those shoulders drop. Let the arms be relaxed, elbows heavy, hands open. Chest softens. Eyes half open, half closed. Breathing in and out through the nose as the tongue comes to the upper palate. Mouth closes. Ears close. And bringing awareness to that nice deep breath in and out through the nose, deep into the abdomen. Arriving more and more in this moment. And just for a moment, let's bring our hands to the navel, one hand on top of the other. Continue to breathe in that long, slow, deep pattern and start to notice some expansion as you inhale, and then relaxation as you exhale. Inviting that breath to go in deeper and really help this diaphragm, this muscle that separates your chest and your abdominal area. Get moving, get more flexible. Good. And then bring your hands to your sides of the waist, fingers in front, thumbs behind, and push in at your waist. Use your breath, that nice breath, to push your hands out. Let's really get the side part of the diaphragm going. Really helping. That'll help us with our sounds. Also to breathe more fully, so we're not stuck in any chest breathing. Inhale, the abdomen expands, pushes the hands out, and then on the exhale, the hands re-engage to help you release the breath. Good. One more of those. And then bring your hands to your lower back. You can either put your palms there, or if it's better for your shoulders, use the backs of the hands. And let's take a breath in. And as you do, let your tailbone just get a little heavy. Let it drop down a little bit. That'll help to open up the flow into the kidneys. And then exhale, let everything kind of just roll back into its normal spot. Inhale, let the tailbone get heavy. Exhale, let it just drop back, go back into its normal position. A little pelvic rocking here from an upright position. Get more breath into the lower back, into those kidneys. Excuse me. Good. Great. One more breath. And then bring your hands down. And just do that full deep breath now. Just see if it's more open here at the waist. And let's do a pulling down the heavens. Let's gather some energy from the earth, from nature, from the sky above. And let's wash this beautiful energy over the front of the body, all the way down into the earth. And again, gathering earth, nature, and sky, giving a little wash down the back, all the way into the earth. And one more time, right through the crown of the head, saying hello to the inside of the body as it washes all the way down to your feet, and then bring your hands in prayer position. Or if you prefer, you can rest them over your heart. And let's just take a brief moment to set an intention for the day. What would best honor yourself, honor your learning, your growth, your journey, your healing journey, and your learning journey? What would support you? Let's just put that energy out into the field as you breathe, setting the energies ahead of time. 3 more breaths. All right. And let's begin our healing sounds by starting with our sound for the liver. So, the liver sound. Place your hands over your liver. Liver's on the right side of the abdomen. So I'm going to invite you to put it on the right side. I'll do it correct on my body so I don't get too disoriented trying to misname organs here. So we'll each have our hands over the left or the right side of the abdomen. And we're going to work with the sound. I'll remind you the sound is shoo, S-H-U. And it sounds like this. Shoo. So it starts the flat and then it goes down to create resonance in the liver to break up any anger, frustration, any issues with jealousy, and bring more support to the hun, the spirit of the liver. So let's give some support here with our shoe sound. So the posture for this one, once again, is interlace the fingers, palms face the ceiling, get nice and tall in your body. I'll do this. I'll turn around so we can do it together. We're going to get nice and tall and do a slight lean to your left. You're not bending over, you're doing a slight lean to really open up this right side. Take another breath in and then we'll exhale the sound. Shoo. And then bring your hands down. And as you make the sound, see if you can feel it kind of shaking in the area of the liver to really break up that stagnation. And now let's put some green healing color, the healing light of the liver. Let's smudge the liver and get a sense of green filling the liver, bringing more vibrancy, helping that smooth flow of chi throughout the body, which is the responsibility of the liver. So just smile to this beautiful organ. It works so hard for us. Doing so many great things to keep us healthy. Good. And let's do this again. So interlace the fingers, palms go up to the ceiling. I'll turn around once again, get nice and tall. Do a slight lean to your left to open up the liver. And one more breath in. Exhale the sound. Shoo. And just make the sound until you're out of breath. Bring your hands back down. More green light. More support for this beautiful organ. Smiling. Sending love and compassion. Allowing the love and compassion that is the virtues of the liver to flow freely. The loving compassion and loving kindness. All right. Let's do it one more time. And this time I'll stay facing you. So interlace the fingers, palms up. Get nice and tall and do a slight lean to your left. You're going that way. And open up that liver. And exhale the sound. Shoo. And hands back down. One more time, filling the liver with green light. Having a moment just to really thank your liver for all it does in honoring of this organ. And let's give it a little rub just to symbolic kind of keep that nice color and support in there. Do a few the other way. And then bring your hands to the left side of your chest where the heart is located. And let's have a moment to be with the heart. And honoring to the heart so we can bring support to the spirit of the heart, the Shen, and release any heaviness there like stress and anxiety and perhaps even shock. Any kind of things that can create an edge for the heart because the heart likes peace, love, and joy, and we don't want to be stuck in our stress and anxiety. The sound is ha, H-A, straight tone. Ha, and you'll feel that resonate in your chest to break up that stagnation in the heart. So let's bring our hands into the proper position for the sound. Hands above the head, shoulders are down. Relax the shoulders, bend the elbows like you're holding something above your head. Take a breath in, exhale the sound. Ha. Till you're finished with your breath. And a sense of cleansing and clearing for the heart. Now, inviting in a beautiful healing color. And notice what that will be. Is it pink? Is it red? Is it a variation of one of those colors? Maybe it's very soft, almost white, or maybe quite vibrant, like a very bright red. See what would best support your heart. We're all in different time zones, so it might be maybe if it's more evening there, you might want something softer. If it's morning, you might want something more vibrant. Or maybe it's the opposite. So, yeah, let's do another release for the heart here. Hands above the head, like you're holding something. Take a breath in. Ah. And then hands back to the heart. Smile again to the heart. Get a sense of how you're making it nicer for the Shen to be fully housed here. Inviting in more of that color to allow more peace, love, and joy to radiate from your heart into the Wei Qi fields around you and throughout your body. Good. And one more time, hands above the head. Take a breath in. Ha. Toning out that ha sound to release the tension. After that vibration, then it's cleared out a lot of energy. We can bring in some more supportive color, fill it up and support healthy functioning of the heart, physically, energetically, and spiritually. And thanking your heart, thanking your Shen for all the guidance you're getting. And give that a little rub. Wonderful. Let's stay on the left side and move down to the spleen. So it's under the ribs, kind of off on the side here on the left side of your body. I'm just checking in with the spleen and the energy of the spirit here, the Yi, spirit of high intent. Letting go of worry. Ooh, let go of those worries, overthinking, any sense of mistrust. We want to break up some of that with our Hu sound. Hu. It sounds like the heart. It's a flat tone. Ooh. Feel free to adjust the tone of it so that you can feel that vibration down here in the spleen. All right, let's do our posture for this sound. Interlace our fingers, palms up to the ceiling. I'll turn around again. This time we're going to get tall and do a slight lean to your right to open up your left side where the spleen is. So let's take another breath in. Open the eyes, make the sound. Ooh. Until your breath is complete and the sound is complete, and then hands can come back here and a yellow light can come in. Even a golden light is nice, like 24 karat gold, a lovely color for the spleen. Inviting in more faith and hope and trust. Trusting that all is as it should be. And just breathe with that. Get a sense of your spleen filling up with a beautiful yellow or golden yellow color, breaking up any dampness as well. And let's do the sound again. So interlace our fingers, palms up to the ceiling. Once again, I'll turn around, get nice and tall, slight lean to your left or right, excuse me. Take a breath in, make the sound. Ooh. Hands back to your spleen. Just smile to the spleen. Good. More golden yellow color coming in. Honoring of the spirit guide here, the Yi, living from a place of high intention. And then I'll face you this time. Interlace the fingers, palms up towards the ceiling, get nice and tall, do a slight lean to your right. Take a breath in, make the sound. Ooh. And come back down. Pause and breathe. More golden yellow color. Bring a strong color in here to help tonify the spleen. The spleen always can use a little extra tonification to help not only the digestion, but also the immune system, all the lymph nodes. Give a little gratitude to Send a little gratitude to the spleen and give a little rub to energetically keep our color there, a few in each direction. And let's move our focus up to the lungs. Say hello to your lungs. Smile to the lungs. And the spirit of the lungs, the Po, our lovely Po that supports us in this earthbound existence, helps to keep you safe, keep you supported, beating that heart and breathing so you can go to sleep. Otherwise, it'd be hard to sleep if you had to remember to beat your heart and breathe all the time. So inviting all that in, breaking up any sense of grief or sadness or disappointment, and any sense of heaviness like depression. And our sound is a bunch of S's, series of S's. Close the teeth and hiss out some S's. So let's do the posture for this one. Hands along the side of the face, spread the fingers, slight gaze upward. I always think of it like a snake looking up. Take another breath in. Exhale the S sound. Good. Hands back to the chest. Putting healing light into the lungs. The color is white. Nice, vibrant, healing white color. Get a sense of that being quite vibrant. Illuminating the whole volume of each lung, bringing in a stronger sense of courage, excuse me, dignity, integrity. Moving the energy, more vitality with that white color. Good, and let's make the sound again. Hands along the side of the face, light gaze upward, take a breath in, open the eyes, and make the sound. Good, and then hands back to the chest. Breathe, feel your lungs, charging them up with a beautiful white color. Supporting the functioning and helping the Po feel more supported in its work. And one more time, hands along the side of the face, slight gaze upward, take a breath in, open the eyes. Wonderful, hands back. Breathing in more healing white light, more harmony into the lungs. Thanking the lungs, sending some gratitude here for all that the Po does. And a little rub here to kind of lock in our color. Do a few the other way. And then slowly bring your awareness down to your kidneys and let your feet come closer together. Let your hands rest right here on the lower back. And just thank your kidneys. A moment just to be with your kidneys, your energetic batteries. And the spirit being the je, willpower. And breaking up any energies that are fearful, all those fears, any sense of insecurity, any sense of loneliness, any issues with our rational thinking. If we're feeling, we're being irrational at any kind, that would be kidneys want to support that. And the sound is Shri. Shri. So it's a little bit like our shoe. It kind of drops off at the end. So posture is hands down on the knees. Keep the back as flat as possible. And as you make the sound, start to round your back to open up the kidneys a little more. Breathing in. Shri. Feel that vibrancy in the kidneys, breaking up that fear. And then fill the kidneys with a beautiful blue light. Notice different shades of blue, perhaps. Maybe a midnight blue for the left kidney, the more yin kidney, and maybe a lighter blue for the right kidney, the more yang kidney. Charging up the kidneys with this beautiful color, like vibrant water. Thanking your kidneys. Good. And I'll do this side this time. Let's go down to the knees. Flatten the back as much as possible. Take a breath in. And then roll up the spine. Hands on the lower back. Smile to the kidneys. Get some nice vibrancy into the kidneys in the form of blue color. Helping the je feel more supported. Support that will. Working from a divine will as opposed to a forcefulness of some kind. Good. Great. And one more time. I'll stay facing you this time. Flatten the back. Take a breath in. Shri. Rolling up the spine. Your hands back to your lower back. Smile. More blue light. Having gratitude for all that the kidneys do, all the things they're supporting and working hard to keep vital for you. And a little rub of your lower back. Each direction. And then let's step back out, bring your hands down, and let's work with our triple warmers. our three containers that distribute heat throughout the body. And let's bring the extra energy not needed now into our lower dantian. The sound is she. It's descending. She. It's like we're pulling excess heat and energy that's not needed into our dantian. So let's do that 3 times. Breathing in. She. Into the dantian. And again, inhale. She. One more time. She. Good. And bring that extra energy into the dantian. Let your hands rest here. See that coalesce into a ball. And that ball compressing to a pearl. Let's do a little bit of guang gong to move it through the microcosmic orbit, balancing out everything. Let's bring it up the spine on the inhale. Exhale down the front. Inhale up. Exhale down. Guiding that energy, bringing balance and harmony to the body. Inhale up. Exhale down. 3 more. Bring that pearl back to the lower dantian. Once again, bring your feet closer together. Little smile here. And let's lock that in with 9 rotations in one direction. And reverse it for 9 more. Rub your hands, generate a little bit of heat. Bring them over your glasses or over your eyes, soak that in. All the way down to your lower dantian. And a little wash of the face, up the center, down over the ears. A little tap of the forehead, crown, side of the head, back of the head, back of the neck. Let's come down to the shoulder and give a little tap to the palm. Up the back side. Come across, do the same thing with the other arm, from the shoulder to the palm, to the back, underarms, sides of the body, chest, heart, lung area, digestive organs, going up your right side, down the left, help that digestive tract. One more time. And then tap beneath the navel, see if chi. Come around the waist to say hello to the kidneys one more time. And then down the outside of the legs, around the feet and toes, up the inside. Tap your here at leg gates. Stimulate those lymph nodes and then see if chi one more time. And let's take a moment in Muji to feel your energy. More gratitude into all the organs that are working so hard for you. Our liver, our heart. Thank your spleen, your lungs, your kidneys, the triple warmer, keeping it all balanced. Let's take all this beautiful energy. Let's have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so, so much.
Okay, everybody back in their seats. Thank you, John. Healing
Hmm.
sounds. Always wonderful. Okay, and looking for comments and questions.
Oh, before we get in that, I just want to make sure, is
Yeah.
everyone going to be here today and tomorrow?
Oh, yes.
If, just want to make sure because you might be getting a session or giving a session today, and we want to make sure that you can reciprocate tomorrow. So, okay, good. So if
Yes.
everyone's that's here is going to be here today and tomorrow, I can start making partnerships right now.
I will
Um,
not be here tomorrow. And so today,
You're not going to
if
be here
possible,
tomorrow?
I won't be here tomorrow,
Okay, then
no.
I'm not going to partner you, which is actually works out good because we have an odd number of people, so that works out perfect.
Fine. And if it's okay, I want to work on a live patient.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that on your own. Yep, no
Okay,
problem.
sure.
thank you.
No problem. Thank you for letting us know. Appreciate that. And what was that? Delphine wrote something in the chat about.
I think it's the same. That was Delphine.
Okay, Delphine's. I am going to be here tomorrow, but driving home now. Okay.
Oh,
She won't be
also,
available for 45 minutes. Okay.
that's just 45 minutes away. Oh, that is so.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then I might have her receive today.
Oh, no, but 45 minutes we're gonna be in the session. So I think we need you to explain again, Delphine.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I had to jump in the car and drive home back to Geneva. So I'm listening,
Okay.
but I can't do healing for the next 40. If I can't
Okay.
do
That's when we're going to be doing the
That's what we're
session
going to be
will
doing it.
be.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Yes.
like I'll be home in an hour.
Right. But we're going
We'll
to be
be
doing the
done by then
session
almost.
now. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. So I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I can't
Okay.
heal right
But
now.
That's
but there's a
okay.
good lecture. There's a good lecture on chords afterwards. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But thanks for letting us know. Okay.
Yeah, but I can do tomorrow.
oh,
Yeah.
well, good.
Okay.
So yeah, work on the person live tomorrow. So that'd be good. Or if somebody is away or somebody else shows up, like a TA. So we'll work it out. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Looks like it's all crickets out there. And so, John, do we have partnerships?
I'm just starting. That's why I just asked all the questions. I don't have any
Okay, well, just
partnerships.
talk for a
No.
minute.
I
Okay,
need
not
at
too much.
least 5 minutes
You
here.
caught him by surprise.
Yes, I'm like, what?
Hi, can I ask a question?
Yes, yes, please do.
Um, the order of the sounds,
Yes.
is it always that order?
Yes, it is. It goes through, well, there's different ways you can do it, and we talk more about that, I believe, in the fourth seminar. But we are going through in a way that's sort of most beneficial, as you can tell. Well, let's see. We're going from we start with the liver. We always start with the liver and end with the triple burners.
Mhm.
Um, so we're always going to be doing that. And then we go from um, we go, to the heart and then to the spleen, then to the lungs, and then to the kidneys. And so we're going in the order which is the order that kind of supports the next organ. And so when we're doing it this way, we're using the color and the sound, and so it's very balanced. And so that's the reason why we do it in that order. It's the supportive for the organs. So it's not just plain purging.
Mhm.
We add color, so it's more balanced.
And is there another way to do it?
Yeah, you can do it in reverse, and you would again start with the liver, but you would go liver, kidneys, lung, spleen, heart, and then end with triple burners.
Right, yeah.
And that's actually it's a more of an emotionally clearing direction to do it in.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I've
Yeah.
done it that other way. Yeah, before.
Okay, with Montauk Chia, we do it the same order
Mm.
as that works. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and Michelle.
I just had a quick question that's kind of
Okay.
fun, actually. You could answer this, guys. You know, when you see those lovely Poe dogs, protecting temples and stuff,
Oh
do they
yeah.
have anything to do with the Poe? I'm just curious because I always hear Poe dog. So the
Oh.
description of them. Do you know, Wendy? I wasn't sure if somebody knows.
Oh, yeah. I
I
think
didn't, it
they're
just
not
came to my
they're
mind.
not spelled the same way as Poe is
Oh,
spelled.
I see.
So
Okay.
they are a little bit different. And I
Oh,
think
okay. I
but in
just,
the same way, the Poe are protectors. And
right.
it's just as those dogs are the protectors of the temple,
Yeah.
that the Poe are the protectors of the body.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they're there
Interesting.
for the survival. So I think maybe, yeah, you got a cross reference there.
Maybe there's something.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Delphine?
Yes, was wondering about the sound for the kidney. When I
Yeah.
do it with Dr. Mao, he is using the other one, the faux,
Oh, okay.
not the
Yes.
free. And I know
Full.
it's
Yes.
in the
It's
handout.
yes, it's more spinal.
Yeah.
We really feel that one, if you say it, it comes down your spine.
Yeah, I was trying to observe the
Oh.
difference.
Yeah, they're just different, and you can observe and you can see which one makes more sense for you.
Mm,
So I always suggest that you play with the sounds, and when there's options, and play with them, and maybe even use some sometimes and some other times, because they're doing different things. Some of them are
hmm
more like sh the shri is very, I find it really does go into the kidneys. It kind of focuses there. The tree, that's more the Mantak Chia's sound, I find very much for the bladder. The fu, I find really comes down the spine, like from the head, which is nice at times. And it's really great if you have, like, you're feeling headachy or something. So,
hmm
yeah. So they're just different. They're all doing things.
Okay, makes
Okay.
sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, you're welcome. So play with it. Okay, Barbara.
It's kind of an odd question, but can you use the surrogate for as an image of yourself if you're trying to do self-healing?
Well, sure.
Because I thought it makes it, when you're learning, it really makes you focus on it versus trying to do the movements or whatever and go through your body also.
Okay, so here's the great secret, that you put this on, like the video on, and John has it broken down. You can just like pick out the treatment, either me doing it today or him doing it tomorrow. You can put that on, make it you on the table, go through the whole thing,
Mhm.
and then lie down and put it back on again. And so you're sending it to yourself when you lie down and listen. So okay, and then you lie down and listen, and you can feel the whole thing come back in for you.
Ah,
It's a
okay.
very nice way to do it. That's people's like, oh, I love doing that. Doing it with the surrogate and then coming back and really practicing on yourself, and you'll feel the whole thing come in.
Hmm.
So
Good,
you,
thank you.
so you can give yourself a session that way. You can give and receive.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of magical, but works.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And Michelle.
Just one comment, guys, about yesterday when we were doing our
Yes.
process there.
Yes.
I had a client last night, a gentleman, and when I was doing a reflex on the heel, on the inside, it's reproductive.
Uh-huh.
And because I typically do different things to move in the body, but I use the technique of holding the heel,
Yes.
and wonderful. It was like the whole inguinal area on that side where he was feeling some stuff started to melt and run down the leg. I was so excited.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
just, guys, that was amazing. So I was like, because in my head I was going, wait a minute, what if I just hold my hands just the way without touching? Because typically I would grasp the ankle
Right.
And this time I left them open, so the flow was like, oh, I just want to share that. That was one thing that,
Well, and thank you, because the flow is very different if you touch your hands together.
yes,
It
yes, it was
completely
incredible.
changes it. So
Yeah,
yes,
Yep.
good one and good example.
yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so John.
Yes, we have partners now.
Yay!
I figured out the puzzle.
Yes, it is a puzzle, everybody.
Yeah, it is a
And he has to
puzzle.
know who's going to be here so he can't do it before the day starts, and then he's leading, so he can't do it when he's doing the leading the qigong. So,
Right. So, I'm going to ask Inga, I know you're not here tomorrow, but would you be willing to receive a session today?
I actually wanted to give a session.
Okay.
ah,
Oh, is it that twisted?
Because I really need you to be able to receive one today, if possible. But
Okay,
so that
that's fine.
because what I'm gonna because then
well,
because then
oh,
I'm thinking I'm hoping I can get Delphine to do the opposite tomorrow.
Okay.
but Delphine could,
So what I have
yeah, Delphine could
is
receive tomorrow.
what's
Let's
that?
ask Delphine if she could receive tomorrow. She's here still. Would that
Yeah,
work?
But that doesn't
I'm
help
here.
me. That doesn't help me.
Oh, it doesn't.
No. Um, okay, this is what I have, and we can rework
Okay.
this. We have to. So I have Barbara. You're going to give us treatment to Tarek. Esther's going to give a treatment to Naomi or Mimi. um, Elena's going to give a treatment to Stacy. Stuart's going to give a session to Josh. And Michelle's going to give a treatment to Inga, and then what I was going to do, and then tomorrow I was going to give a treatment to Michelle on the table when I'm doing it.
Oh, you were going to do it that
Because
way.
Inga's not going to be here, because otherwise I have to either that or I just kick one
Oh,
of the
Delphine,
I kick one of the TAs out and then we can make it work.
Delphine is going to be here tomorrow, so
I
she could.
know. That's why I'm trying to put Inga in so that I can make somehow get Delphine in here, which
I
I don't
think
know.
Rosa's going to be here tomorrow as well, isn't she?
Who?
Rosa?
Rosa.
I thought it, well, also I thought Emily was going to be here today and she's not. So,
I know.
all the people that said they're going to be here are not here. That I got about 4 or 5 TAs that were going to be here today. I thought we were going to have a lot of people, but they're not, none of them are here. So,
Yeah, because
um,
remember, Gavin will be here tomorrow.
Gavin will be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, John, would you work with Michelle today so that I'm a little bit out of the equation for
Yeah,
tomorrow?
we'll just kick you out. That's fine. Um,
well,
um,
tomorrow, is
so I
Inga
have
here
an odd
tomorrow?
number. So that means someone, I have to kick maybe Josh out.
Oh, I can work on somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
I can put somebody on the table
Okay. Well, then how about you do a session on Michelle?
right now.
Yeah, because then if I take Inga out, I have because uh I only have 9 people.
Okay.
So I need
Um,
someone either Josh doesn't do a session or
but Inga could do the session on Michelle. If
but
she
she
wants
doesn't
to.
want to.
Oh, I thought she did want to.
No,
She wants to give
I
one
want to
to
give a
a
live
she's got a
session.
client she wants to work on. She doesn't
Oh,
want to work on any.
I see. I got
That's
that
what I'm
now.
saying. So
Okay. That's
she's
why I was
out of the
confused.
equation.
Okay, she's not in the equation.
You can kick me out if you want. If you just
Okay.
No, no, Josh stays.
No, we're gonna make this work. See, this is a puzzle. This is that's
Okay,
why
well,
when
I
we
will
ask,
work
we really
on
it's lovely to
Michelle
know
will
when
be on
people are
my
gonna.
table then.
What's that?
I can put Michelle on my table.
Okay. Well, then Michelle's gonna go. You're gonna get a session from Wendy.
Yes.
Look at that. So,
Okay. There we
okay.
go. We're
So
all
once
good.
again,
Easy to have Michelle here on the table. So,
yes, right. So, and then we'll figure out with Delphine and whoever shows up tomorrow how we have to.
yeah, and Inga, whoever tomorrow's tomorrow. So,
Tomorrow's tomorrow. We'll figure it out. So
yep.
once again, so Barbara, you're going to give a session to Tarek. So Tarek, you get to lay down. Esther, you're going to give a treatment to Naomi. So Naomi gets to lay down. Elena's going to give a treatment to Stacy. So Stacy can lie down. Stuart's giving a session to Josh. So Josh can lie down. And Michelle lies down because Wendy's giving you a session. You know, it's a small group today. Somehow a lot of people didn't show up.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Everybody
Okay.
clear? Sorry about the confusion on my end, but just wanted to make sure we get it right.
Yep. It'll be much better if we get it right today.
Yeah, right.
Tomorrow might be another puzzle.
Yeah, and that might be
So
another puzzle.
wait until that we have the big puzzle come when it's our big clinic.
Oh gosh.
And we're putting 90 people, well,
Oh my
over 2
gosh.
days, but
That's when
still
Wendy and we're so
16.
always surprised we still have hair at the end.
I know. Two therapists, one person, getting them in the same place and time, and it's wild. Okay.
So everybody, I'm going to invite you, the people that are giving sessions, to have your table set up. Remember to have the head of the surrogate on your left when you're looking at Wendy.
Yep.
And all that are lying down, you can relax and you'll be able to do it tomorrow. And just
Okay.
keep your video on so I can see you. Thanks, Stuart. Appreciate it. Thanks,
Okay.
Barbara.
So
There you
finding a
go.
Wuji posture, heads on the left, feet on the right.
Everybody's ready.
Okay. Breathing deeply, smiling. Taking a nice deep breath, exhale, relax. Imagining beautiful golden light above you. Connecting with that golden light as it pours down over your head, melts down over your forehead, coming down over your face and your chest, melting it all the way down from the body to your feet. Then starting at the top of the head, melting down the back of the head and neck and shoulders, coming down the back of the body to the feet. And then opening the crown, inviting beautiful light now to come in and illuminate the brain. Brain is radiant, coming into the glands of the brain, into the eyes, the ears, the nose, the sinus cavities, your mouth, melting down through the entire head and down into the throat, melting down to the thyroid gland, the base of the neck at the front, and then continuing to melt down behind the breastbone, illuminating the thymus gland, and then into the heart and the golden light now. Taking a nice breath and smile to your heart and appreciate this light and this blessing of healing as it comes up now into the lungs. This is divine light within you, and letting this divine light now come into your liver. Smile to your liver, come into the spleen and pancreas, bringing a smile there, loving your body, bringing this self-love into your kidneys. As you invite the divine in to heal the kidneys, bringing it into the digestive system, smiling to the stomach, golden light radiating out of your stomach, coming into the gallbladder, illuminating the gallbladder down into the small intestine, lighting up the small intestine, dropping down into the colon, rising up the ascending colon, coming across the transverse down the descending back to the sigmoid colon and the rectum. Golden light now filling the bladder and the reproductive organs, and letting that golden light now shine and illuminate through the body as it moves into the blood, into the bones, the bone marrow, as it expands into the fascia, the connective tissue, tendons and ligaments, into the muscles, into the flesh and the skin, and out in fields of Wei Qi all around you. One is fun, two is shu, melting now down into the earth. Three is tree, letting the tree roots now descend down to that first earthly transpersonal point. Nature, second. of the elements. Third, connecting to the great consciousness, the great loving and nurturing presence of the earth, and inviting the earth, the spirit of the earth, to rise up through your feet. The healing energy, the nourishment of the earth coming up the legs, up the back, over the head, down through the tongue, into the cauldron, the lower dantian. So that's core energy. 4 is core. 5 alive into the cauldron, creating steam, yin and yang, that balanced energy, the fire and water of the earth, steaming now, steaming through the torso into all of those yin and yang organs, coming into the chest, coming down the arms, down the legs to the feet. More steam, steam expanding the neck to the head. This 5 alive, balanced alchemical steam inside of you. More and more building up and coming out through the palms into the field of energy, coming around the feet, the ankles, calves, knees, thighs, wrapping you up in this 6 is thick, very thick, around the hips, around the waist, the torso, the chest, the neck, the head, continuing to have this wonderful steaming alchemy around you. Now you have this wonderful alchemy and this beautiful golden light filling your Wei Qi fields, making them very strong and vibrant and connected to the heaven, the earth, and then opening up through the crown, up towards the heavens, lifting up to that first heavenly transpersonal point, connecting here to the higher self and conscience. The second, the pure lights, where we draw upon the pure lights for healing and the virtues. And then again, higher, reaching up towards the gate of heaven, the Tao, the divine, pure light, and that light of the divine now shining down and illuminating the upper, middle, and lower dantians, coalescing here, creating a column of light in the center of the body. Beautiful, luminous Taiji pole. And now drawing in from all around you, from front and from back, and opening up to the great powers of north, south, east, and west, of the elements, drawing all of that into your Taiji pole. With each breath, getting stronger and stronger, brighter and brighter, till that shines out and fills the body. Shines out into the first field of Wei Qi, out into the second field of Wei Qi, into the third field of Wei Qi. So all of these energies now fusing you to the north, south, east, west, to heaven and earth, to all the fields of Wei Qi around you that are now connected to you and a part of your energy field as you work with your partner. So calling upon our guides, guardians, and angels, great beings of light, to work with us, work through us, and allow us to be vessels of healing energy in accordance with the divine will. Calling upon the divine to hold the space where we are working safe and sacred and creating a 3 counterclockwise circle to create that safety, and then going to our partner's energy from head to toe and to our surrogate and bringing them down onto our surrogate. And then again, connecting to the divine, calling upon our partners, guides, guardians, and angels, and asking that they work with us, work through us, and help guide us to bring the best possible healing for our partner, for their highest path, and that the work we do be of benefit to all beings. And connecting to the divine and bringing in a beautiful ball of white light and wrapping them up, our 3 bubbles, and fusing that now into our vortex under the table, and that also kind of keeps the whole room clear. Good. And stepping inside of the bubble, now just sort of coming into their field and dropping down an energy cord down to connect them from the coccyx into the earth and from your coccyx into the earth as well. plugging into the earth. Woohoo! Okay. And now we can comb. So we're going to start at the top of the head and we're going to comb down from head to toe. And exhale. Nice strong exhale at the end. Saying hello to the energy field. Nice smile and loving and caring as we do that. And the other side. Nice purge. Repasses. And standing at the feet and doing the same from the head to the feet, bringing your hands up and clearing. And one more. Good. And now we're going to come back to their right side. So you're watching again on your screen. And we're going to do our flat palm diagnosis. We're going to warm the hands up. And feel around, coming over the head, seeing what you might feel here. And coming down, just as you're getting used to now. Feeling the body, seeing what you might notice is a different energy field than you've been in before. And he's coming down the legs to the feet. And maybe even noticing, like, where do you think you get more information? So experience, is it from the flat palm? Is it from the sonar? Or maybe it's from the magic gloves. We've only done that once though. So anyway, coming down to the feet and putting your palms, cupping the heels. And we're going to send that wave up. And back down and just noticing what you might feel. Do that a couple of times. Just sort of checking in on what you felt the first time. Maybe get more detail the second time. And letting that go. And we're going to come up to the top of the head. We're going to connect to divine white light. So bringing our hands up and pausing, really connecting to the divine, inviting this white light now to come down and illuminate your Taiji pole. All the way down. And then using your sword fingers to send the energy through the crown. Left hand is over the third eye. And let that white light from the Taiji pole now go down and illuminate their Taiji pole. And it doesn't have to be hard. There's no trying. It's all about just letting it happen and just intending it. And the more you can go like, well, that'll just happen, the easier it will just happen. And the more you get out of the way. And so as we do this, we see the lungs building up with beautiful white light, the heart with red light, the liver with green light, spleen with yellow, pancreas yellow, kidneys blue, and even letting that light shine out and become like a beautiful opalescent light through the body, beautiful healing light. Good, and we're gonna let that go and step back onto their right side, just to the right in that case. Now we're gonna clear over the head. So combing down the head. This is always best from the head. You never comb up the head. Give them a headache. So over the head, some nice passes just with these kind of combing fingers. Place your left hand underneath the neck, and the right hand makes our dragon's mouth. And so the four fingers together, and then the thumb grasping, chomp, 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 coming here, and sending energy up from the left hand to the right hand, and just clearing anything that comes into your hand and sending it into the vortex. And we can do that a couple more times. Make sure we got everything from there. Good. And now just reaching over and get the energy that gets caught around the back of the head and neck. So reaching here and lifting up the stagnant energy, any stuck energy, grasping that. So clearing here and making sure that you don't drag across the center line. So we like to make that little fist. Good. Now we're going to come over to our lung one in the crease here, the arm at the chest, and grasping lung one, which is right in the middle, right in the center of that crease, and walking around, unscrewing the little cork here, and slowly pulling it out like a thread. You may sense that thread coming out of the lungs. And if you're listening and you're receiving, you may feel something all the way down to your thumb, and clearing that and into the vortex, which has opened up the lungs now to receive this healing. Now you're going to put your right hand under the shoulder on a 45-degree angle, and on a 45-degree angle, come up and off the shoulder. Releasing. And this one is in person. This one is very physical. You're kind of tilting the shoulder blade. Okay. And then we're going to grasp the wrist back right here. And clear down the arm just to the wrist, just to those points. Actually, just above those points at the wrist. So passes here. That's our heart, lungs, and pericardium meridians. And then do the same, clearing on the back. And that is our large intestine, small intestine, and triple burner meridians. And we're clearing, and we can send those off the end of the fingertips. And then just doing the palm, clearing, and do 3 passes over the palm. And in person, we generally do that one physically. So some are more on, some are more off. And now just giving that arm a little traction as we put it back down. And we're going to come up and reach across to clear the other side of the neck. So reaching across, inhale, grasp, closing, hold the fist like you've got something in it, exhale. So lift up, hold, and release. And a nice exhale to really clean and release that. Okay, and now we're going to reach across to our lung one, walk around the table, and you're unscrewing this using a dragon's mouth, and slowly again, a little silk thread, delicate thread, pulling that up out of the lung one and clearing that off and into the vortex. Now, just pulling out the meridian thread. You want to put your hand underneath the shoulder, this time left hand, standing beside the body, left hand under the body, and right hand comes up and across and off the shoulder. Little compression. Really releasing any turbidity out of the lungs with that. And again, grasping the wrist front and back at our points just above the wrist. And a little pull there, a little traction, and come down just to the wrist. Lung, heart, and pericardium channels getting cleared here. And then we can do the back of the arm. Small intestine, large intestine, and triple burner channels. So nice clearing, and then that can go off the fingertips, but on the front, we're going to clear the palm. 3 clearings off palm and into the vortex, and then placing the arm back. Nice little bit of traction there. And that leads us right beside the liver. So let's begin to clear the liver. And it's like you're a cat. A cat's purring. It's like you're really pawing. You're kneading the liver. And just think of that going in and breaking up stagnation. It's like you're getting the garden and the soil gets clumped up over the winter, and liver is springtime. It's the wood element. So you're making the soil of the liver nice and open and breaking up lumps of stagnation that might be there. So we like to do that. Okay, we're giving it a nice general clearing now. And we're gonna do the whole gallbladder meridian. So starting corner of the eye and coming down around the ear and down the side of the body and off at the 4th toe. So clearing around the side of the head, side of the body, down, and once more. And sometimes when you do this, use hands over hands to really guide and pull excess energy down and out. Same thing from the base of the breast for the liver meridians. That was the gallbladder. Now the partner organ, they're partners, liver and gallbladder. And that's why we're coming down. Now this is more yin, so it's on the inside of the leg. And it's off the big toe because the liver meridian begins on the big toe. So we're pulling down and off the big toe. In our work, we go away from the organ, and we say from the river into the sea, or from the lake, and anyway, from the source to the sea. And so for us, that is the source is the organ, and we go away from it. So clearing away, down that meridian and off. Different from acupuncture. Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. These meridians love to be cleared because they get really stuck. So again, now you're coming around the ear, from the corner of the eye around the ear, and coming down the side of the body, and again off of that 4th toe. And you give a nice strong exhale as you do that. And a good shake off, because you don't want to bring it back with you on your hands. Okay, and now the liver, starting here and coming down and coming on the inside of the leg and down and off the big toe. Okay, so we've done the liver. Now we need to come back around to the right side And then slide our hand underneath, come to the heart. And we want to think of sending some lovely, gentle energy up through the heart, maybe pink, whatever feels right. Pink could be white, could be red. And just send that up through the heart and feel like it's bringing up any impurities, like a froth, like a foam on your latte coming up, and just feel for that over the heart. And it's almost like with the spleen, like when you start to feel that there, it might feel a little bit kind of damp, a little bit thick there. You just pull that off and send that into the vortex. And you can do that maybe 3 times, just feeling for it. And clearing that. And then with the hand there, sending energy down to the solar plexus. And we just want to clear down off of the solar plexus. Solar plexus gets very full. It's generally emotional energy that gets stuck around the solar plexus and the digestion. And we come down along the side of the rib, the base of the rib cage, from the solar plexus, base of the rib cage, and off. Inhale, exhale, into the vortex. Good. Okay, we're going to come around to our spleen now. Very busy. Lots to do. Okay, so now we're going to make our golden sponge for the spleen. And so to do that, we're going to lift up, ask the divine for a beautiful ball of golden light. And we're going to ask that to become a sponge that will remove excess dampness from the body, turbid dampness, unhealthy dampness. And we're going to place that, you can put your left hand underneath and place that down over the spleen area. It's right in here. It's right down there on that side of the rib cage. Just down here, like base of the rib cage, to the side. And ask that now. We're going to ask it to absorb any and all turbid dampness. And then when it's full, that it comes back up into your hand. So you're just going to leave it there until you feel it kind of pushing your hand up, which is what it does. It finished its job. And send that down into the vortex. Oh, there's that funny intangible energy that becomes tangible. Okay. And now we're going to get another ball, a beautiful ball of golden light. So now you're going to lift up to the divine and ask the divine for golden light to nourish and help to tonify the spleen, to warm the spleen up. The spleen loves to be warmed up, doesn't like being damp. So we're going to warm up our spleen. Beautiful ball of golden light. Left hand underneath the spleen, right hand on top, and gently, slowly bring that down into the spleen. And let the spleen receive that. Usually the spleen's usually pretty happy to get this. It's like oh, it must be Christmas for the spleen. Okay, the spleen gets nice golden light. And just ask it to nourish. It's time to nourish the spleen. Help tonify and nourish. Good. Okay. Now we are going to say hello to the colon and the small intestine. Come here and do some more kneading, a little bit gentler than the liver. Also good for the uterus. We're just kind of pushing and pulling, and it's just enlivening the energy. We're just really thinking of like breakup, stagnation, release, anything that's stagnant, that's built up, just energetically get the energy flowing again in this area. And if you feel turbidity, pull it off and send it into the vortex. It's a good way to end it, with just a few pulling across and sending it down. Okay, now it's time for fun. It's time for a magic glove. So we're going to bring our hands up in front of us. And we ask the divine now for magic gloves that will lead and guide us in our healing work with our partner. And gloves are now descending, feeling them coming down over your fingers, your thumb, over your palms, down over the wrists, all the way to your elbows. If you can feel it that far, great. And now bringing your hands down over your partner, and your partner, the surrogate, which is over your partner, and just waiting to see what wants to happen here. And just letting the hands do whatever they want to do in that energy field. It may feel silly and it may feel like nothing, and you'll know if you follow some urge to move, and then you try and stop and your body will say no, keep moving. That you'll just be sort of taken away, so that it take you away. Okay, and when you're ready, let's make our way to the feet. Okay, magic gloves don't want to stop. Stop, magic gloves. Okay, coming to the feet. Okay, we are going to connect to the blue energy, the water of the earth, water element. Bring that up to your feet, connecting to the divine, heavenly, pure blue light, bringing that down, filling your Taiji pole, and sending that up through the kidney 1 points in the bottoms of the feet. Up to the kidneys. Just think of that going in. And the flow would be up the inner legs, just like we do further along. Up the inner legs to the kidneys. Okay. Then we're going to come to the foot, their left foot, your right, on your right side towards the screen, and hands on both sides of the ankle, not touching. And so filling the ankle. You can think of that as white light or this beautiful blue light that we've been connecting to. So it's really these wonderful healing energies of the earth. You can even just let it fill and look at, have a sense of it. What does it feel like to you? Does that feel more blue, more gold, more white? A mixture? It's all fine. Okay, and once you feel that, you've got some energy going in there, we start to circulate the energy down the outside of the foot towards the little toe, across the ball of the foot to the big toe, and then down to the ankle, and then around and make a nice flow, nice circulation. Good. Now we're going to come across to their right foot on your left side. Hands on either side. If you touch your thumbs just for a second, you'll see how it changes the energy field. So we're not changing the energy field. So do hands on either side. So let it fill up. Fill, fill, and circulate. So circulate down the outside towards the little toe, across and up the inside, up the instep to the heel. Make a nice circular flow. Okay, we kind of got it started here. So now we're going to come up, staying on this side, same side, knee. We got our chi shoes. Now it's chi boots coming up to the knee. Yeah, letting things fill up. And then coming down the outside, all the way to the toes and back up the inside. Nice circulation up to the knee. Okay, and then we're gonna, keeping your hand on that knee, good practice, as you come across now to the other knee so you don't break off, or you could go to the foot. But anyway, we like to keep touching when we're touching. Okay, so you're filling up the left leg, the left knee now. And then start our circulation down the outside, then the ankle, put your left hand on the ankle and have this flow coming up, making a nice flow down to the foot and then up. Good. Now we're putting on our hip waders as we come up. Right hand comes underneath the hip, parallel. If you're on the wrong side, come around to the right side. Underneath the hip. And the left hand is pointing towards the top of the head. And you're filling the hip. Now you're going to bring your left hand down to the inner knee and make that connection down the outside and up the inside. So through the whole thigh area. And then bring the circulation all the way down. Left hand is now on the ankle. And you're going to bring it all the way down to the bottom of the foot and up to the hip. Okay, and now we're just going to keep our hand on the foot as we come around and place our left hand underneath their right hip, the left hand on top facing upward towards the head. And fill the hip. And if they were live, your fingertips underneath should touch the side of the sacrum. And you're really between your hands. So it's not up at the waist, it's lower. It's the hip itself. Okay, and then bringing your right hand down to the inner knee and making that circulation here. And then down to the inner ankle, getting that flow the way to the toes. Good. And so now we got hip waders on both sides. Let's bring it up to the waist. So bringing the lower hand, the left hand to Ming Men behind the kidneys. The right hand goes to the kidney 1 point, the base of the foot. And we're going to send the energy up the inner leg, up to the kidneys, up to Ming Men and into the kidney, and down the outside of the leg. So just visualizing all of that. And then doing the same on their right foot. Up the inside of the legs, up that kidney meridian, and then coming back down the outside of the leg to create a circulation. You can even do the back of the leg, which is the bladder meridian, which is the partner of the kidney. It's kind of nice to do back and side. So let's get that feeling, that nice connection. And so now that we've got that going, we're going to bring our hand to over the navel, and we're going to start making this small circulation, but we're also going to, so pulling this energy up and filling at the same time. We want to fill with energy, and we want to see it circulating. So fill and circulate, and really fill that area of the lower dantian with energy. It's the It's the engine for the body, the chi engine. The heart is an engine, the brain is an engine, but this is the lower dantian, and it loves heat and warmth. That's its thing. Maybe think of this as being, has some fire to it. Okay, and now you're going to slide your left hand to underneath the solar plexus and filling here. And again, circulating with this little orbit that just goes to the perineum, comes up the spine, creates a nice circulation, draws that energy, helps them to connect to their feet, connect to the earth, helps to break through blockages and resistances in the body. Okay, and next we're going to come to the heart. So coming between the neck and the shoulder, sliding the hand down beside the neck to behind the heart. And the other hand will continue to create the circulation, but we don't need to, on the surrogate, you can put your hand down here. It's obviously fine. But not in a live person. You probably want to have your hand above here. So filling, but we're very delicate, and just really think again of pink light and creating that flow, that movement, the circulation from the perineum coming up the spine, down the front of the body. So that's the governing vessel, conception vessels. Also the dew and the Ren channels, just different names. And now bringing your left hand to behind the base of the neck and your right hand above, just like with the heart, that we don't, we're not put our hand here because it feels like choking, but we're going to let the energy kind of fill up here, but and also move, because a lot of this energy, this area can have mostly need to move and to connect and to draw this energy of the earth up to tonify everything. It feels good. It feels like warm water. It feels sleepy. Okay, a nice circulation all the way up through the body. And now we're going to work on the head. So the hand rests in the palm. So the head comes down, the thumb is out, hand is out to receive the head. And the thumb is on the crown, middle finger, which pericardium finger on the third eye. So just now, just circulating the energy here in the head. And think of that like you're drawing all the way up from the feet. You've made this circulation, and you have moved this energy all the way up. Okay, and now we're going to do our microcosmic orbit. So placing the right hand underneath Ming Men, left hand underneath the base of the neck, and we're going to circulate the energy through the microcosmic orbit. Up the back, over the head, down the front to the perineum, and have a nice movement and flow there. And then coming back over top of the navel, collecting 9 times in each direction. And putting the hand on top and just letting the energy settle here. Stepping back, connecting to the divine, bring in a nice ball of white light. Thank you, divine. And wrapping them up 3 levels, physical, energetic, spiritual, and sealing them up underneath and releasing the vortex back into the earth. sending them back to where they are from head to toe, and back to them head to toe. Another nice ball of white light to wrap them up where they are and seal up, sealing in that wonderful healing they've received. Shake off. Ask that any of their energy that has remained with you be lifted by the divine, transformed, and returned to them as pure healing light. Ask that any of their energy, your energy that has remained with them, be lifted from them, transformed, and returned to you as pure healing light. Giving our gratitude to the earth, our wonderful earth, to the support, giving our wonderful gratitude to the divine for the guidance, and our gratitude to our partner for the honor of working with them at this time. Okay, and rooms are opening up.
Okay, here we go. And Michelle, you did get a room, but if you want to stay here, Wendy can talk to you here if you want.
Or she can put it, you can make a room for us.
Yes, I can make a room for you, but
Okay.
I don't have the ability to put you in a room. So
I'll go in there.
yeah, and I'm going to stop the recording.
Oh, it's sticky. Okay. Come back from break and from your wonderful sessions. Anybody have anything that they'd like to say or ask about the sessions? Comments? Questions? Yes. Okay. We'll let it be quiet. Anyway, good work, everybody.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Work on your sessions. Oh, I still got them. Oh, well. Still have a body behind me. Okay. It's okay. Okay, so we'll move into the lecture part then. So let's see. Energetic chords. Ooh, a big subject. So, okay. Energetic chords. Yes, this is an energy class, and energetic chords are real. So, body's energetic chords are located within the three dantians and also located in the chakra gates. So first of all, probably want to clear something up about like why do you talk about chakras? Because we're not talking yoga, we're not talking, Indian Ayurveda or these things or New Age. Turns out that the chakras are something that have been, part of the Chinese system for a long time. If you look into, Tibetan medicine, the Buddhists are very much, you'll see pictures of Buddhas with chakras on them. And, we come from both the Taoist and the Buddhist background in our work. We have exercises in the Shaolin Buddhist, and also we do things in the Wudong Taoist. And not only that, the Taoists also, we're paying attention to the chakras, the dantians. And when we look at the dantians closely, they they're totally relating also to the chakras. So the location of the dantians, um, the upper, middle, and lower dantians, and we sort of map them out, which we do in seminar 10. Um, I'm going to be teaching here in a month or so. Um, when we do that, we see the energy centers So the lower dantian, the center of the lower dantian would be the second chakra. Center of the middle dantian would be the fourth chakra. Center of the upper dantian would be the sixth chakra. And the chakras relate to what is called in the Ayurveda or the Indian medicine as the granthis. And so there's like a back and forth. So those are sort of the energetic knots of the body. And the way that we take apart the um, the dantians looks like energetic knots, the way that energy flows and the detail of how the energy flows through the dantians. Anyway, so just to say there's a lot of crossover and chakras are a thing that also we use. So, and we even do chakra treatments. So, so anyway, that said, the chakras have blockages, dantians have blockages, and and the energy gets stuck there, and it gets stuck there due to the combination of beliefs and emotions. So we have a belief system, we have an emotion like maybe men are bad. It's a woman and men are bad and not to be trusted. So there's a fear, there's a belief, those combine and they sit in the lower dantian around probably the first and second chakra gates, those areas. And so you start to have blockages. And that's where, and then that would be men are not safe. And you can have a cord there to another person. So we get blockages, and then we look into the blockage. What's it about? And then it's like, well, what started that belief? Oh, there's this person who, mistreated me, who abused me, blah, blah, blah. And so that is a cord to that goes along with that emotion, that belief to another person. And that can be to people, which is in this case formed through spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical bonds. Okay, so those can be negative or positive to people. Um, and and people, they don't want to lose someone, in this case, in the picture, like don't leave me, or they shouldn't have left me, or all those kind of thought forms. And sometimes the bonds are, because of the physical closeness with the family. So, there's always some kind of accord with all of your other family members. And maybe there's just joyful. And so we don't really consider those chords when it's just joyful, when it's just happy, when it's, I just smile when I think about them. That, you could call that a positive chord, but we call it maybe more of a loving bond rather than a chord. So, so this is about chords, and then it can be with animals. So the loss of animals is one that isn't really addressed that often and that well. So I think more and more, there are more and more people with animals and with dogs, and it's, they're very unconditionally loving. Your dog, your cat, your horse, um, create these love bonds. And when something happens to them and when they die and when we lose them, that can be a really big issue. So for example, so for me, I remember as a child when my dog died suddenly, I actually got pneumonia after that. I got pneumonia, ended up in the hospital because it was really sad and the family wasn't really expressing the sadness. Um, I was off school. Um, I couldn't, I was just too sad and went back to school, ended up with pneumonia. But I had people tease me, did you really stay home from school because your dog died? I remember that pretty clearly. Like, just because your dog died, it's like, that's not not how people treat it now, but I remember being that happening. So yeah. And for people, and I work with people, so I work with people on a regular basis who have dealt with the death of an animal and are having a really hard time, getting through that grief. Our animals are like our best friends these days. I don't know. Did animals change and suddenly get cozier? I don't know what used to be when I was a kid. They were supposed to, well, ours didn't though. But like the neighbors' dogs, some of them just, it was a strong winter there in Ontario that lived outside, the dog that lived outside in the doghouse.
Hmm. That's what our dog did.
Yeah, so that wasn't quite such a bond that, maybe they slept on the foot of your bed or something back then. I don't think we were allowed to have them under the covers, but they could be on the bottom of the bed. Anyway, so it's very different and it's something we definitely need to look at. Now, so when people's dogs die, there's often this big question about, well, did I do the right thing? Because often they're getting put down because they're really suffering and they don't want to see them suffer anymore. And so it's important and we work with animals on the fourth seminar, but it is really important to know. And the thing about animals is they're always like unconditional love. They're understanding.
Hmm.
They're not going to have you know, a big anger for the most part. Occasionally I will get something going on. Um, our the neighbor's cat, I know, was it one of those giant fluff ball ones, but big. This really big, fluffy cat called Wolfie. And
Wolfie.
when Wolfie got hit by a car and we happened to find him and it was very, very upsetting and sad. And but then since she wanted me to like tell me, can you connect with Wolfie? And I was like, Wolfie, and it's like first thing Wolfie says is Valhalla. Wolfie's there like Valhalla. I'm like, what the heck is this cat telling me? And it's like, okay, Wolfie was like a hunter. It's like I'm with my cat buddies, the hunters, and we're talking about how um, about all of our escapades in life.
Oh goodness.
And Wolfie was a real hunter.
Like a
And then we had
Viking.
another cat that was like another cat that was just another big fluffy cat, and his name's Winston. It's like not like Winston. Winston's gonna get old and his teeth are gonna fall out. I'm going in my prime because I'm a warrior. Anyway, it was just the funniest thing. So anyway, animals are very interesting. I love working with with animals. You just never know. But people definitely get really strong bonds with their animals. And so the nice thing with animals is that the other end of that is like unconditional love. And those guys honored Wolfie by they got a picture done with Wolfie with like a little Viking hat on, which they have on the wall, which I love.
I I agree with you on now it's even more common to have this strong connections with animals. I
Yes.
even remember when we were at our year-end clinic when I was
Yeah.
a student and I was doing a session. This person, we were kind of like, what's going on with their energy? And then we finally figured out it's because of a sadness over a lost pet
Yes.
from many years ago, and I felt the
Mm.
pet, I felt the dog in
Yeah.
her field who was still there and very, I
Yes.
said, "Ooh, this dog's very happy to hear that you're here." And I said, "This guy had a lot of energy, and it was very a smaller dog that had a lot of energy."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yes, that's my lovely dog." And she would talk about it, and that was
Mm.
part of her healing. She was holding on so
Yeah.
much that cord with
Hmm.
that dog that that was a big part of her healing, which was so
Yes.
cool to learn.
Yeah, because I had someone a long time ago I was just learning how to do this, and I was like, there's a horse here. There's a horse. What's the white horse? And I said, well, who's this white horse? And then she immediately kind of broke into tears, like this is something from her as her childhood, and her horse that she felt responsible for the death of the horse, and we had to go through all the details of that to release that, and she felt so much of her energy come back.
Mm.
because we released that. And the horse was just always there and always loving, but she felt guilty because
Mm.
she took responsibility and thought that she caused the horse's demise. So,
Wow.
yeah, animals. Animals are a big one. So we have get cords to animals. We also get cords to places. So so sometimes we think that, not we think that we are connected to a place. Like there's no place like home, and I'm not living at home. There's my home was maybe in France, and I'm not living in France anymore. Or, my home was in Mexico. Wherever that is, people get attached to a piece to the earth, maybe of the country that they came from, or a place maybe where they, had a home, maybe the home where they grew up in. So people get these cords to places, and it's very, it's like, what do I do with that? What do I do with a cord to this other place in the world? And and you want to go back and live there? Yeah, I want to go back and live there. No, I can't. I don't really want to go back and live there because I don't know what I do. My work is here. My family's here now. But it just feel this thing from their heart. There's a tug in their heart. That was the piece of earth that they came from. So they're corded to that place. And for some people, that can, really cause their demise. Again, the that connection because they're losing energy because they feel every day they're in the wrong place. Excuse me. So we have to do work of releasing cords for people to places. Then the place, again, it's the earth. And the earth is always, it's like animals. Like the earth part is always good. The earth always loves you. It's like, I love you there, but I can also love you here. And they're like, but it doesn't feel the same. And it's like, well, it's true. It does not feel the same. So, go back home, go back there, get a nice big jar of earth and bring it here and, do things that make you feel. Is there any place here that reminds you of there? But sometimes it's enough to have a session with someone where the earth in the old place, and I've done this and it's worked. Everybody's different. Some people are just like, no, it has to be there. But we can talk to the old place and the earth there and ask that the earth there, that they can let go of that connection. So just with love and that the earth there says, that I love you, I'll always love you, but we're done, we're complete, and we are ready to move. Now let's create a new bond with the place where you live now. Like how would that be if you felt that same love for where you are now? So, and then sometimes it's people, well, I move all the time. So then it's like always being able to feel that the earth is supporting you and with you. So so place is a big one that people don't realize, how much of their energy can be lost into a cord to a place. The place where it's like, that's the place, that's my place. And, it's okay if you go back and maybe visit their place. Like I homesteaded a place. And I'll always have a certain attachment to that place because I homesteaded it, I took it from, you know, just a mess of logging, junk, slash, you know, to beautiful. So I made it. It was like my creation, my baby. So every year I go back and I get to go and pick in the orchard and because people aren't there usually. And they don't mind because no one's picking it. So I get to go back and pick and, do the stuff and go to my friend's place and, and so I get to enjoy it. So that always feels good. And I feel good because I get to go back and enjoy it again. So, and it's because I raised my kids there. So there's a lot of things that are, you know, and the whole family goes there and we're like, ah. But we're also okay to not be there and we can set new roots and it's take, but you go back and you feel that connection. Anyway, those are real. So those are real roots and connections that we can have. Places. And then there's things. So people create bonds, cords with things. Now, so when people die, they can still be corded to things, and they may not want to go on because they're, they don't really want to leave it. Well, one of the things can just be a house. So they can stay corded to a place and not want to leave a place or a house. It's not that unusual to find like original owners of houses or even later owners of houses, people who got attached. I mean, I had in San Francisco, like Marina District, I worked on a house one time where there were things flying around in the house that these young couple who just got married had got in
Mm.
the house. They'd be sitting there and something would like literally fly off of a bookshelf. And so they like left. And then they found me to kind of go in and work on it. What was going on there was like two previous owners were like I was here first. Actually, I think there were three, but one of them was just like, oh, I'm not getting involved with them. Because they're pretty old. They're not that old, not compared to Europe. But anyway, they were they were having a big fight. And it's funny, they were energizing in front of the TV, and I was like, the TV is really weird in this place, and the big screen there. Screens can kind of have things going on, but anyway, they
And
were.
mirrors and
Oh,
mirrors.
mirrors are awful, yes. They're like recording it all. Like the little recorder in the room is the mirror. Um, but we'll learn treatments, and one of the treatments is really good for mirrors, and I'll tell you what that is. But anyway, so they were fighting over that place. So sometimes again, like it can be a place, but then again, sometimes it's jewelry. That you can have a piece of jewelry and you pick it up and it's like, oh, I I bought some antique, beware of antique jewelry. And all the clearing that I did couldn't get this piece of jewelry. It had a spiral of gemstones in it, and it seemed to have created a vortex. And the vortex, you just couldn't break this vortex, and so I had to go bury it. Sometimes you have to go bury things, and I know where it is. I may pick it up and see if it's any better. Maybe I could talk it into like gathering good energy. But things, you know, things, especially this is why, like in Japan, they don't use used things. It's like, after a certain amount of time, no, you better get, let's go for the new because the old could have attachments, and it does. There can be a lot of attachments to old stuff. You can feel it when you go into like an antique store.
Mm.
Not just mold when you walk through that door that seems a little off. It's like, oh, it's like those places are filled with entities that are attached to things. I have a very hard time, and my daughter has a whole business of um what do you call it? It's not especially it could be very antique, but textiles and and so and so she goes in there and she goes through things and finds great stuff that has fabric, has design on it and stuff that she then turns around and that goes to large corporations to make stuff. Anyway, so that's what she does. But I end up going into those places and I'm always like, I don't even want to pay attention to what's there because it's like then I gotta like clean it up. So, but and so one of my favorite stories about this is that I had a friend who um, who was just driving past an antique store one day, and she felt suddenly drawn, like someone tapped on her shoulder and said, "Look at those chairs." And she looked at those chairs and she thought, "Oh, I'll get those chairs." She was driving somewhere and then she went there and then she came back. I'm going to go get those chairs. I just had a big tap on the shoulder that says, "Go get the chairs." So she went and got those chairs and then she brought them home and put in her place. And everybody came into her place, kind of went like, "Oh." And then she went like, "Oh, I can't really go around those chairs. There's a really weird energy on those chairs." And they were Asian, they were old chairs. She didn't really know what the deal was with this chair, but they had high wooden backs and they had low seats, but they were really nicely kind of decorated, and she really liked the painting on them and things like that. So she brings me over. She says, "Oh, there's something. I got a real problem here with these chairs. You can't sit on them. You can't get near them." So so I checked into it, and there's like this woman there. It was like these are my chairs, and then it was like, oh, and her husband's. Is this guy your husband? Yeah, this is my husband who's here. And I said, okay, well, why are you here? Why are you so attached to these chairs? And she says, these are my wedding chairs. Oh, okay. And then we checked it out later, and it was an Indian wedding chair. These were a pair of Indian wedding chairs. And that's actually what they were. So it's like, oh, okay. But we didn't know that. She was just telling the story. Okay. And she said, and then she proceeded to tell me about the life and their life and that they lost everything. At a certain point they had, and then something happened and all of a sudden everything was taken away from them. And all they had left was their wedding chairs. And she wasn't going to give those up ever, apparently. I think she maybe made a vow, I'm never giving up my wedding chairs. She was very much attached to them. Anyway, we talked to her about, that she could go into the light and have everything and everything would be there. And so we talked her out. We had a really good talk. And so we got her to let go of her wedding chairs and she had to have an agreement and my friend had to agree. It was a lot of agreements. Like she was going to put cushions on them, and then they had to agree on the color of the cushions that were going to go on them. And
Uh-oh. Oops.
I could get her to go into the light.
You froze
I
there.
see that just for a second. Anyway, she had to do internet unstable. She had to do a lot of agreements about how she was going to take care of the chairs, and then the woman became comfortable, and her husband. And her husband was very patient. He was just waiting, but they had kids. It was like, your kids are over there. You need to go. So eventually we got her to go across and, they were kind of antiques. So she had been attached to those for a long time. And I'm sure the reason that they ended up where they did was because people like didn't like these chairs. But then they became really nice chairs and people could sit on them and it was a whole different story. That energy wasn't there. So things get attachments. And sometimes I'm drawn into a house. I'm supposed to work on a house, and there'll be some shelf there. And it's like, okay, I'm like zeroing in on some shelf. It's like, what's on the shelf over here? And I go, like, let's see, third shelf. Okay, let's find out. And it can be even look pretty innocuous sometimes. And it's just broadcasting some very dark energy into a space. So it's really good to know, but mostly just check out the energy of things. And then I'll just hand to the person and say, how does that feel? And they're like, oh, that doesn't feel good at all. You can tell these things. If you have some antique weird thing, one time I had like this thing from Borneo yeah, I think it was from Borneo, from that they put for spear hunting, like this weird gourd thing that they dipped the poison in and the
Oh.
poison arrows. And it was like this thing from this house, and I was clearing this house, and it's like, how do I get rid of this thing? Because I didn't want anyone to take it. It had such bad energy around it that if you're afraid that if you you had to, really make sure it went somewhere. Anyway, sometimes you have to be careful where things go. Well, there was also one recently with Mario. Some of you might know Mario and his friend Maya's place in the East Bay, and I walk into their house, because I know them, and it's like, what is going on in here? It's like, what is this dark energy? And it was like this chair, and her sister had bought this chair because it was at the parents' house, brought this chair in because it was like free on the side of the road. It's like, oh God, no, we know why it's free on the side of the road. It was very pretty, really carved. And it was like it had little cloven hooves. The legs were like kind of fur, and then there was like this like devil, and it was like, oh my God, this chair is so bad. And then I was told when I got rid of that chair, it was so dark and so demonic. It was like, well, you can't just break it up and, put it in the trash to try and, they said that they're just gonna let this energy loose. Better this energy stay in this chair, but you need to put it back out on the sidewalk, but you need to put a full fair warning on it about the chair and see what happens, because someone may have the karma of getting that chair. And if you say this chair is cursed and it's, a very dark energy, um, anyway, I can't remember. We did a whole thing onto the chair. And then, the next day it was gone because it was nice looking and probably thought, oh no, it won't. I can deal with that. Anyway, so enough of my stories here. Um, anyway, there's a ton of those stories. So, chords connect our beliefs to reality. So, these chords that we have that connect us to another person, um, we have a belief about that person, and we set that into that person. And so we're believing that. But what makes up that chord? That chord is your energy and your vitality. So that's your chi. So if you're meditating on how much you don't like that person, you are of that energy into this chord. Now, will that hurt the person on the other end? No, probably not. They're probably just going to get your energy. It's like, oh, okay. There's some energy, maybe. But for the most part, you're just hurting yourself. So when you stay in a sense of a negative chord towards someone, I hate that person. That person shouldn't have done that. That person should have behaved differently. And I'm just going to keep thinking that. Excuse me. Okay, you're not changing that person. You holding those thoughts about that person isn't doing anything to that person. That's like magical thinking that you're, that the poison, you're sending them poison and somehow it's going to kill them, but it's actually killing you. Because that is what it does, because you're hanging on to a specific energy. You're angry at that person. You are holding the anger inside your body. You're not having peace, you're having anger. And that's really hard on your liver. And usually, and you're also holding on to grief at the same time. I'm so angry that they left me, and I'm so sad that they left me. So most often you got both. One of them is usually more the one that you talk about. So maybe I'm just going to always be the sad person and I'm just sad, or maybe you're always the angry and pissed off person. But you'll have, the chords hold this energy. And you have this belief that by holding this anger that you are maybe protecting yourself. So it's going to be safer for me if I stay angry at that person, because if I'm angry at that person, then I won't let this happen again, or that person can't come back at towards me because I'm going to stay angry. And I know people who, it's like they're so angry at my father. It's like, well, wait a minute, you're 75 years old. You're still angry at your father? Yeah. I said, was he still alive? No, no, he died when I was 16. It's like, okay, well, we're still going to be. And so what's that anger doing then? But most people just don't know what to do with it. We get stuck with that anger. But often if the same people, if you say if you want to let go of it, they'll say, no, I'm still angry. They did the wrong thing. I'm right and they're wrong. So anger has a lot to do with that. Um, and I think all of these chords have a lot to do with I'm right and they're wrong. I'm good and they're bad. So we get back into that whole forgiveness kind of a thing. So chords are very caught up in those energies about the other person. So so we're only hurting ourselves with these. So when I have someone, I'm like, okay, how are we going to let that go? They are full of light and energy. That's what they are. It's your light, your energy, your vitality, your life force. It's like pouring out of you every day. Removal creates major shifts in feeling, thinking, and behavior. And so, but how do we remove cords? Now it's sort of like you have to be willing to give up being right. You have to be willing to give up being the good person. So there's a lot of things that you have to open up to. So, um, and we have to go to a deeper truth. Well, the truth is that they ran off with this younger woman, and it was, and she was my friend, and I thought that blah, blah, blah. So that's the truth. Okay, well, there's levels of truths. So now we need to get that truth isn't going to make you well. It's not going to let the cord go. And then people will also say, well, I just want to hang on to this cord. And I remind them, I say, well, you might want to hang on to it. But, hang on to that cord means unresolved energy with this person. And if you decide you're going to spend your life that way, well, you just may have to resolve it in your next life where, that's going to be your dad or that's going to be, your brother or your mother or your husband or, you really want to keep, is this the person you want to keep playing with? Or do you want to see if you can complete it? And so I almost get unanimous consent at that point. That seems to be, but it's true. It's like you don't resolve it now, you do have to resolve it later. So all those things, those grudges we want to hold, it's like not, you will resolve it eventually. Okay. So we resolve it eventually. And how do we do that? Well, John's going to lead you through a meditation, which will be one way of doing that. But we really have to go back to the truth will set you free. And if you're familiar with the work of Byron Katie, she does some good turning things around. We really have to look at things from that other person's perspective. We have to kind of get into, you know, their thinking. And we can't just think of, oh, I don't want to do that because they're evil. It's like, the other person is bad and I don't want to look through their eyes. It's like, well, maybe, but maybe you don't want to, but you really want to have them for your dad next time around. So, and so sometimes it'll be even very extreme situations. Um, you know, well, I had an extreme situation where this guy came in, his wife or girlfriend or whatever brought him, person he lived with brought him in and to see me because he had been molested really terribly by his father in his life. And it had sort of almost crippled him that he was unable to really be in the world. It was really bad. And so I was having this session. I said, well, do you want to like, how willing are you? He said, I'll do anything. It's like, okay. So I put him into his father's perspective. I put him into his father. I said, are you willing to go into your father and see what his truth is? And what he saw was, and then there was this whole other thing about his father was on this ship in the Second World War. And 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 he got sick right before I got one of those big invasions where everybody dies. Like all of the guys who he was with died. And they had been out in the Pacific a long time and they had had physical relationships with some of the guys on the boat and they had died. And his whole world was there. He hadn't left, and he said, my father never left that boat. My father's still looking at the world that way. And my father coming to me in the night like he did was like him like trying to get back to feeling what he felt with the guys, he was on the ship with. It just brought him to this place of understanding his father, who had already passed away, in a completely different way. And he no longer felt, this in the same way about his father or the same way about being a victim of his father. And and he was like so excited and liberated and so
Mhm.
just so joyous. And the weird thing was that when we were done and he was so happy and it's like I've really broken through, and then the wife, the girlfriend was like, "No, you haven't. No, you haven't." Oh, it was very weird. It was like, "No, you couldn't have." It's like she liked him broken and then
Ooh,
yeah. So anyway, secondary gains of relationships there.
wow.
Anyway, but
Another
other than
cord to let
that,
go of.
I
The
know, and I
burr.
don't think he was going to be in that relationship. That relationship was based on him being broken. And
Oof.
so as soon as he wasn't broken, she was going to be out of there. That was wild. Anyway, yeah, it's like having that courage. And I've had people who just about threw up going into their parents' energy field. This one guy who was a cocaine addict, and then he saw his mother for the first time, and it completely shifted him. And he was like, "I don't need cocaine anymore." So it can be very dramatic, but you kind of have to be willing to go there. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's also there's really no other way. You got to go there and you got to walk in another person's shoes to to let that cord go because everyone is basically there's the divine in them. You may not see it, but that's what we got to get in touch with. And sometimes it's just seeing like, oh, I've been playing with their demons. They've been attacking me all this time, but that's not who they are. Who they are is someone else, is a 3-year-old. And so I'm not going to keep courting these demons when it's all about a 3-year-old who never grew up emotionally. So it's just ways of working through this. Anyway, let's finish this section off. Well, we'll talk some more. I think we're ways. And that you put questions down here in the chat because I know this can bring things up for people. Prenatal cords are bonding with parents. So that should be a good cord, but it isn't always. Um, but we want it to be. It can be a really difficult cord if a person is given up for adoption. And so people who are adopted have this cord to a mother, and then the mother's not there. And this has always happened through time because people would die in childbirth. And again, the mother that they were courted to wasn't there. So, so how do we deal with that? And often I try and, go back to Earth is your mother. So the Earth is the body that was there, The mother that was there was a representation of the earth. And and if you can see how beyond that mother, that there's a mother that's always been there for you, which is the earth. And and some of that's just your karma that you've chosen in this lifetime to have some stuff to work on. Okay, this lifetime I've decided that I'm not going to have that, I'm not going to start off in this really easy family constellation. I'm going to have I'm going to be adopted, and then I'm going to work on that. How do I find my way back to earth and to mother and father, like the greater mother and father, when I don't have them, bringing me up through my childhood. So it's always there's answers out there. There's ways that we can work, but mostly that's going to be a very loving bond that hopefully you have with your family, with mother, father, and siblings. Siblings, I take that back. Mother and father. Siblings, not so easy. Postnatal bonds can be supportive or non-supportive, um, can create diseases and suffering. So this is like an example of an energetic cord into the uterus, and all of the things that are affected by that. So the uterus is right in the center column of the body, right like in the Taiji pole. It's a center column affecting the ovaries, the vagina, the kidneys, the yellow cord, the spleen, left lung, heart, right lung, liver, everything, being affected by this cord into the uterus. So it really throws the person off. Now, one of the ways that this happens is if a person has a miscarriage, or then they're bonded. They had a child coming in. There was a conception. They felt this connection to someone, and then maybe they had an abortion, and they had like a push and pull, like you shouldn't be here with someone. Um, so so when there has been like a conception and perhaps the development of the fetus starting to develop in the body, and then that stopping, then we have what we call a phantom embryo or a phantom baby, or depending on the when that, or an abortion, or when that abortion would have happened, or when the miscarriage happened, and then that can sit in the uterus, and they find that wherever the attachment was in that pregnancy is most likely where, if a person ends up with fibroids or something like that, that's where they will be growing and attaching. So we do work with that. We have that in the 7th seminar coming up, where we release those phantom embryos. And when you release a phantom embryo, it's amazing how much this is a lot of life force energy in around the uterus for women. So a lot of life force energy comes back in for the person. Emily's really good at that. Emily's in class today. So there are those who talk to Emily if you are interested. Anyway, so that's one, the uterus, and that's what gets attached there. But into the other sexual organs, you'll have the attachments coming from, sexual abuse often gets attached. Cords with that, can be attached there as well. Or someone just attachment to an ex-lover who let them go. It's like, oh, I still feel there's no one like that. And then you can have attachment to the uterus or to the vagina, to the heart. So it can be in more than one. Often, if it's a love, it will be in the heart. But if it's more of a sensation, passion thing, it may be in the, third chakra, second chakra, those places. So those will um, be problems. And then sometimes we have people who have been raped, and they don't know who raped them. Maybe it was a dark night in an alley, And then how do you deal with that? So they're corded to that situation. And so rape, and it can be a male or a female who's been raped. But when someone is raped like that, that's really has a huge charge in it. And it's very hard to release that kind of energy. It really goes into the body, especially with the power. Like the demons around sexual energy are like the big ones. And they will um what would you call that? There's a word for it. Like it's like they vomit all over the person. It's like um they goo the person completely.
Regurgitate all over the person or something.
Yeah, yeah, they're just, they just um anyway, so they are
Mm.
so it's a really huge imprint that comes in. And so that person just they're always trying to wash, trying to get clean. They're keeping their houses like really clean. Anything dirty can be like, a huge aversion um, because of this, because they got there's a word. It's like I think it's out of Ghostbusters or something. Anyway, they they
Blind.
got
Slimed.
they got slimed. Yes, that's the word. They got slimed. That's the word I was trying to think of. They got slimed. And that slime doesn't come off. So it's hugely challenging for that person, especially because sometimes you didn't even see them. Sometimes they do, but sometimes you don't. And so how do you let go of that cord? So it's bad enough when you know the person, this is just someone in the dark. And then, if we can, do some kind of channeling or just sort of bring them through a process, what we do, so they can connect to who is that person. So, and I've had people very successfully like, this person, they get in because of the scare, because of the fear, because of the shock. And when you get shocked and afraid, the energy field opens up and your Wei Qi fields have sort of disintegrated, and bad things, bad energies can come in like that. You become completely vulnerable. And so in clearing that, there's a lot. We got to kind of bring them back in. It's hard to be even in their bodies when these things happen. So you want to work with them a bit to kind of get them more in their bodies before you do something like this. But then you find them and they'll find over again. This person has like super bad self-esteem, and often it's like this person's been very abused. I'm feeling into this person's energy, and this person has such bad energy, and then they start to feel like I feel sorry for this person. I feel bad for this person. I feel like this person's just had a terrible life, and they've been like overrun by these dark forces, and so then you can be angry at the dark forces. You don't have to be angry at the person who did this. And then we can clear those bad forces, because that's different from a cord to another person. So then now we're talking seminar 12. But anyway, we do have ways to work on this and to clear these things from a person. And when a person is clear from us, I've had people who are like basket cases. This one woman was a basket case for about 7 years. In fact, I've had people longer than that who were just, terrible shape from things that happened to them. And then I think, John, were you in the class where the woman was attacked by the guy from the who had escaped the mental asylum?
No.
Okay. Anyway, we cleared her in class, and it was really quite amazing. So, and she couldn't believe how her energy came back. It was all of a sudden she was a person who she had been like it happened 20 years before.
Oof.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, who am I now? Wow, I am back, because she'd always felt it was always with her. This thing that happened. And hers was interesting because a lot of hers bringing hers back was the fact that, like, how did you survive this? And she had prayed, she'd asked, God save me, God save, done this whole thing where he was, about to put her in the trunk of the car. And, somebody, some headlights came past and she had this moment where she was able and she said, and all of a sudden she was filled with so much energy. Just like she'd been like 1 second, then the next minute she was like it was like this lightning bolt of energy came through her and she just took off at high speed and she was able to escape. She had to go through kind of woods and whatever, but she escaped and she survived. And it was like, oh, so there was a miracle that happened for you. So let's focus on, tell me more about the miracle. Because you'd always skipped over that in the story. It's like, well, wait a minute. Part of your story is a miracle that you were saved in this miraculous way. Anyway, so it's really interesting how we can work with these things. That was part of her healing, was to go back and to really sit with the fact that her prayer was immediately answered, and when she called for help, that the help was there.
Hmm.
Wendy, there's some questions in the chat.
Yeah, there is, but
I
I
bet
thought
there
we only
are.
had one more slide.
One more slide, and then we'll
I was
answer
just
all the
gonna wait for the
questions.
slide. I saw that
Okay.
too.
Yeah. Okay. So, how do cords go away? Unconditional love. See, it's so tricky. You have to come to unconditional love, but yay, unconditional love is awesome. How do you know it's unconditional love? Because when you go back and think about it, the emotional charge is zip. It cannot have an emotional charge. And so that means you got your energy back. No attachment, to reclaim the light energy of the cord. And that's what we want to do because those cords are not doing anything but hurting you. And you become more aware of a deeper truth. You have to look at things from a truer perspective, which is great for your life. You become more compassionate towards others. But mostly, it's your vitality. And we are um, unlimited eternal beings. And you want to be more of your eternal self. So that was the last slide. And so this is about becoming your eternal soul more and knowing that all of these other people are also eternal souls. They're in this world. It's like Shakespeare. It's like everyone has a role to play. Everyone comes and goes on this play of life, and some people are playing the bad guy. Some people are playing the victim of the bad guy. Some people are playing the king. Some are the pauper. Some are the jester. All these different roles that we play in our different lives. And so, if you're having to look past that and reclaim as much power as you can in this lifetime. We want to basically, as people working in this world, shamanic Chinese medicine, you want to be your clearest, cleanest, most high powered self possible. Okay, so let's look at questions.
Okay. Stacy wrote,
Yeah.
I'm wondering about doing this practice or any energy work practice. I want to make sure that if something were to happen during a session, and she wrote, I am trauma informed, what can I do to support myself to be able to support my client in a trauma informed way? And not
Yeah.
sure if there's a separate course to reference for that.
When we have trauma come up on the table, you have to get them out of their head because the trauma is happening in your mind. It's in the replaying of the story. And we get them to breathe deeply. If they're on your table or if they're at a distance, they got to come out of their story and into their breath. So you have to have them place their hands on the abdomen and breathe deeply. And it works every time. You can bring someone out of that reliving of whatever and bring them. And we don't want them to relive it. So we don't actually ever. So we talk about this more as we go along. We're just sort of introducing chords here and we'll have a meditation about it. But we never go back into the actual trauma. If we're finding the person there, we're not going through that trauma. We never go back to the trauma. There's no point. It's like, let's pick the scab off the wound. We don't pick the scab off the wound. And sometimes you have them tell the story, but I would have them go back if they get into the trauma part. Then I just have them breathe, and it's like, okay, let's go past this part. How are you later? So we never want to get into having someone screaming on the table that there's no point. It doesn't help them at all. But breathing, deep breathing, will bring them back into their body, and they can start to see how the energy of all that is caught up in their story about it. So it's a story that perpetuates the emotional experience. And so we're into breaking the story. We're into changing the story. We need a new story. It's like, oh, okay. I'm, my life, I learned something from this experience. Like the woman who was like attacked by um, the guy from the insane asylum. It was very interesting. All things going on in her life in that at that time. And then it's like, oh, I see that, the divine is actually with me, even in the worst moment of my life, that I wasn't alone and that all I had to do was call for help. And she felt empowered in her life about that. What could have stayed as a terrible story for the rest of her life,
Mm.
shifted. But there's all sorts of those, and they shift in different ways depending on what the story is. Does that answer the question?
Thumbs
Okay.
up. Yep.
Yep.
Um, Naomi wrote, she has the opposite situation. Her sisters are amazing. Her parents are not. Um, she asked a question though, is it just reverse breathing to close the chakras? My psychic told me that my chakras were too open.
Oh, you need to go through all the individual chakras to see if there's a problem with, which ones are open. They're not going to be too, it's not like all the chakras will be too open. It'll be somewhere. My guides won't even say that your chakras are too open. So I'm
I was
questioning
wondering
that.
about the too open too. That was interesting to me. I never heard that.
Yeah, my guides won't even let me say it, so I know that I'm questioning that, the reality of that. So if I kind of look through your chakras, I feel like your chakras are nicely open. It's more about learning how to work with the energy than it is about closing your chakras. That's what I'm feeling there. But I'm also seeing, yeah, yeah, well, not surprisingly, there may be some issues with the first and second chakra. That's which sort of need to balance out more. So, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Um, Other questions?
Yeah. And if anyone wants to come on, you can also unmute mute as well.
Does anyone have, we have time, I think, for a quick, anyone have like a person, place, or thing they're attached to you'd like to talk about? Wow. Okay. And
Guess we
Emily, I
don't need
can't
to do the
bring,
meditation.
okay, well, let's just talk to Emily for a second. We'll go to the meditation. Let's bring Emily in because Emily is very good at doing the cord work.
Okay.
I find a lot of these. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, and how does that work for you? All different ways, I know.
Yeah. Hmm. Um, well, it's I find that's really interesting because often I find that there seems to be a common place that I find chords, and a lot of the time it's in the heart chakra, the middle dantian, and the
Mhm.
lower dantian. Those are where I see a lot of them.
Yes,
I
almost
have
all.
almost
Almost
all of
all.
them.
Yes.
There was a demon one that I was in the upper dantian, which was interesting, and was giving someone psychic abilities, which they
Oh,
admitted,
wow.
and they
Yes.
came to realize. And so that was really powerful. I think I might have shared that with you, Wendy. I think that was maybe in one of the clinics.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah. Uh,
That's so typical. That's Yeah, people will get, yeah, that's right on. Yes.
Yeah, and then also a lot of the time with women that maybe haven't done any energetic work at all, it's like often a phantom embryo
Hmm.
that's causing disruption in their cycle, in their flow, in their liver, and I mean everything
Yep.
really.
Yep.
And suppression of grief, a lot of
Mhm.
sadness that's unexpressed, and yeah, I mean I'm speaking in general terms. I don't know if you want
Mhm.
anything more specific.
No, just so yeah, so Emily is a graduate. She graduated in our last M12 and she does great work. So I just like, yay, Emily.
Oh,
Thanks
yay.
for sharing that you're doing
And
this work.
oh, I love this work. I love this work. And just even just a comment on what you're talking about right now with energetic cords and restoring, like even for myself, I've noticed that I give my power away and what it does to me. And it really makes me feel those things like anger towards someone, frustration, irritability.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know if I have a cord going on with someone right now. I'm like, it's making me question that. But it's so true. The connecting to unconditional love, just you have zero charge with anyone. They could be doing
Yes.
anything, and you won't have any reaction to it.
Yeah.
So it's a good compass. It's a good guide to know, like, okay,
Right.
am
Yep.
I aligned with my eternal soul right now or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for that. It was really, I wrote that down.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Stacy has a question.
Yeah, I was just wondering about people that have had a couple miscarriages, but they've gone
Mhm.
on to have successful
Mhm.
childbirth.
Yep.
Would it be helpful to maybe, examine doing some work on those people for, helping them with their grief or um, like, is it helpful for me to be aware of this particular practice to maybe offer that, or should I just let it come up naturally? So that's kind of like two questions, but I also have a third
Okay.
question, which I'll also ask.
Well, that's really not, we don't teach the embryos until seminar 7.
Oh, okay.
But you find it, you can feel them as cold little ice cubes. So they're either there or they're not. We can feel them.
Oh, okay.
So they're actually in the field, and you can put your hand across the area of the uterus, and you can tell when we get there, when you get more reading the energies, and then that will tell you if
Okay.
they're there. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
not at
that
this level, that we're still learning how to give basic treatments.
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't going to do it now, but I was just thinking of one
Yes.
of my really close friends. Um, but once I get there, like let's say in seminar 7,
Yeah.
um, like does this typically just come up through feeling it, or if you know of it already, is it something that you would verbalize and
You could do both
yeah,
ways.
okay.
Both ways. And your friend could even go to our seminar 7, she'd be
Yeah, we have
welcome to come to the clinic.
in
Yeah.
Oh,
April, we'll be doing a session,
Yeah.
sessions on that so
okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
that she can come and have
Yeah.
a treatment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. I have one last question. That's for Emily.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at her poster in the background,
Yeah.
with all the acupressure points or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, if you can share where you got that poster, I would love to have a poster. So yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
Yes, it's from Amazon, and
Okay.
the frame is from Michael's.
Okay. Do you have the link to that actual poster just to save me from, because that obviously works for you.
I
I'd
I
That'd
welcome
be
that.
probably
nice.
do. Yeah, I'll see if I can share it in the chat here.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
yeah,
Yes.
no
Okay.
problem.
And Barbara?
Yeah, so just an experience when I was first diagnosed with cancer, going through treatment, I was having some pranic healing done.
Uh-huh.
At one point in that healing, he identified that he felt that there was a very strong cord between me and my partner.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to cut that cord because he felt that too much of my energy was going to dealing with my
Mm.
partner's angst
Mm.
about my disease,
Mm-hmm.
my cancer, versus my energy going toward healing. So I'm just, can it prevent somebody from healing if the
Well,
cord
we
was
don't really
running out?
believe in like that kind of cutting of cords.
Okay.
We just, it does, and the cord's just reattached. The
Yeah,
more
it's
when you think about them and you worry about them and their angst, you're just
it
gonna
just
go, it's just gonna go back on again anyway. It's gonna go snip and then it will this comes back. So
Yeah.
yes, that could be if you are then having to kind of feel like your energy is also going to caretake them, then it could be definitely useful to come into a place where you see their fears and you understand their fears and therefore you've and you also know that they have their own path, their own karma, and that you don't need to take care of them. So that's how we would approach that more.
Yeah. Versus that just,
Yeah, like
take figures and cut the cord
yeah,
and
it's not
you've
just to cut
dealt
the
with
cord.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's
you know,
Yeah.
more
because
involved.
there's also a cord of love there, because otherwise they wouldn't care so much.
Yes,
So that's why we
Yeah.
don't
Well,
go.
that's,
exactly. There's love in that cord. There's already ton of love there. So we
Mhm.
just be working. Anyway, let's do a meditation.
Okay.
You're over to John. He's gonna.
Well, first, before we do that, I want to just say we talked about a lot of really heavy stuff
Yes.
that we can work with, and a lot of that you'll get a chance to work with in higher levels. But we really wanted to kind of introduce the idea of chords. So I want to invite you during this meditation to not go for your level 10 chord just because we've been talking about that. It's like if you've had a serious trauma of some kind or whatever, probably not the best one for this meditation. We want to just see if because you want to get a sense of how this can work. So maybe something that's more middle.
Yes,
So I
middle.
just wanted to say that so that as we start, we're not going for something that's going to be really extreme for yourself, because that might take a little longer than a short meditation. That might be some more work involved. So
On the other hand, if you're really feeling drawn to it and it feels like you're getting
if it's
told
time for
that's
it to
the right
go,
thing,
yeah,
you can go for it too.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Second here, I got to get my music set
Yeah.
up here.
Music setup. Woohoo.
Okay. This is my first time doing the music, so I'm going to ask Wendy how it's going here. So 1 second.
Yeah, it's fine. I always ask you.
Yeah, but I got too many screens up. I got to get rid of some screens here.
I'll just pull up the music screen and then,
There it is.
okay.
Okay. And let's see if this works.
Okay.
Oh, good Lord. Do you hear the music?
Nope.
Okay.
Did you hit share?
Yep. 1 second.
You make it a little, I don't think it's about loudness. It's not there.
Hmm. What's going on? Let's see.
Because there's nothing on here that says that there's a share. There's a sound share. So, there we go. Nice.
There it is. Is that the right level?
Yes.
Hey, 1 second.
Maybe a titch lower.
Okay.
Oh, we just disappeared.
I know. I just turned it off. Okay,
Just
let
a
me do a
titch,
little
just a
lower.
tiny bit, tiny. There. That's good, right there.
All right. Good.
Okay.
All right, everybody. So let me start this.
Hmm.
So getting comfortable. Breathing deep. Allowing yourself to be more and more into your body, into your present moment, and relaxing. And then seeing above your head, beautiful light, radiant light from the divine, and feeling it begin to wash down over the front of your body, over your face and throat, over the chest, over the abdomen, all the way down the legs to your feet, creating more and more relaxation. Seeing that same light begin to pour down over the back, over the head, over the neck, shoulders, all the way down the spine, over the buttocks, backs of the legs. This light creating supportive, healing energy over your body. And invite it in, allow it to flow down once again through the crown of the head. The left hemisphere of the brain and then the right hemisphere of the brain. The throat, the thyroid gland, going down into the torso, filling up all your yin organs. Loving light coming into the heart. This beautiful, relaxing energy coming into the lungs, down into your liver, to the spleen, to the kidneys, all of the yang organs, all the digestive organs receiving this loving light as well. Feel this energy going deeper into the body, reproductive organs, to the nerves, tendons, flesh and the muscles, out into the skin, deep into the blood, and all the way into the bones and the bone marrow. Healing light flowing down through the body, all the way through the legs, through the feet. And feel this begin to go down with deep roots into the earth, through the earthly transpersonal points, nature, beautiful energies of the five elements, of the sacredness of this planet, our home, Mother Earth. Feel this energy from the earth flowing up, loving light from this beautiful planet, up through the bottom of the feet, all the way up through the legs, through the pelvis, through the torso, all the way up to the top of the head and beyond, as we start to connect with the heavenly transpersonal points of your higher self, beautiful energies of the pure lights, all the virtues, connecting with the sacredness of the divine, unconditional love. Feel this energy of the divine flowing down through the crown of the head, inviting that to flow freely through the body, down, all the way through your legs, through your feet, and down into the earth, as this heavenly energy flows through you, connecting to your birthright. This energy that we are a part of, becoming more and more embracing it, more and more involved. Feel the same as the earth energy comes up. Very yin energy flowing up all the way through you and connecting with the energy of the divine above. You are not separate. You are a part of this. Bring your awareness to your heart. And breathe into your heart. Feel your heart begin to expand with all this energy flowing up from the earth and down from the heart, filling you up. Feel your heart beginning to expand. Bigger and bigger. As more and more energy flows through you, begins to expand outward, creating the sensation of floating, surrendering to the energies that we are a part of. Filling your Wei Qi fields and beyond. From this wonderful, surrendered energy, we invite you to look above yourself and see brilliant white light like a star. The energy of your eternal soul. Or feeling being drawn upward towards this light, going higher and higher, flowing through the rainbow bridge. You move through the color of red, all the different levels, moving up to orange, green, yellow and green, I should say, yellow, green, turquoise, blue, violet, purple, white, beautiful white light, creating this more vibrant connection with your eternal soul. Being surrounded by this energy of love, all these high beings in your eternal soul here to support you. Then begin from this high place to look back towards the earth, to a space and time when a negative cord has begun to form, connecting you with another. Sense of your energy beginning to be blocked by this cord and used for a purpose that lowers your overall energy. And from this safe energy, slowly descending And coming closer to this person, this individual that you have this cord, knowing that you are safe and held in loving light as we here to support and guide you. They can be close or perhaps in a different space, different room in the space that you're in. Whatever invites you to be more present with this. Just notice in the presence of this person who's attached by a cord to you, how does this feel? What do you notice? What is happening to you and your energy? Is there constrictions in your body? Is there emotions of tension or stress that create perhaps walls around your energy to protect yourself? Perhaps it's fear or sadness or an energy of lashing out with anger and frustration that this has happened to you and created this cord. Knowing that this is a chance, an opportunity to heal this, to move beyond this energy. And come back more into your full self. And ask yourself, do you want to keep this? Do you want to continue to hold on to your connection here in this way that causes you this discomfort? If you are ready to release it, we invite you to have a moment to visualize how it would be without this. How would you be without this cord? How would your energy be? How would you be able to be more fully you? Adding more light, healing as we add more light to support you. Being in this more supportive way, this more your highest way. Feel how that gives you peace that you are looking for. And from this high version of yourself, out the core, just for a moment, we invite you also just to look back at how you are with it, with this relationship. To notice the difference. And inviting you to fill with even more light. See this person, see this individual, sending light towards them beyond the personality. And see that light flowing into their soul. Inviting you to see this person as a soul. All the others, energies that are presented to you being released, and seeing the energy of their soul. Inviting in more light to their soul. Chance to see them at their highest level. You send this light to them with compassion, loving kindness, inviting this energy to come in to help dissolve this cord, the attachment this cord is holding to you. Inviting this other to move along their own karmic path. And whatever is in their highest good, to move along that path for themselves. You don't want to continue to hold this cord as some kind of punishment for them for whatever they might have done, as that will continue to keep you in this perpetual tug of war. Inviting that to completely release with love and compassion towards their soul. See if you can feel how that affects your energy. Feel a sense of beautiful beings of light coming to join you. These beings, as they join you, asking them, what was my lesson here? What was I meant to learn from this door, from this relationship? Perhaps there's layers of learning, multiple things to learn, or one important part of my growth. I'd ask also if you got the lesson, if you actually get the information you needed to do it. Did you get the gift of this story, this relationship? It will allow you to move along your path with higher learning and more growth. Connecting here with unconditional love. For all that you've learned, all that you've been through, all that you are doing in your life. Inviting also all the energy that was held up in keeping that cord. Letting that energy come fully back to you as that cord continues to dissolve, release its hold on you. And sending some of that unconditional love also to the soul of the other individual. Noticing if you can really feel that love going to them at the soul level. So that the issue that created the cord no longer has the charge that had you creating this cord in the first place. Feel the self in gratitude, the energies of the divine to your eternal soul, and yourself in all this loving energy. As you slowly feel yourself coming back to the earth, to your physical body, and back down to the rainbow bridge, that white light, violet light, purple light, turquoise, green, yellow, orange. Continue to come back further and further, all the way down through red, flowing back into your physical body. Your hand coming into a glove. Breathing in your physical body. Feeling your cells and tissues filling with energy as you come more and more back into yourself. Remembering whatever you can about your experience to support yourself. Again, hands to your abdomen. Taking a few deep breaths, running your microcosmic orbit. And let's lock that energy in 9 times in each direction. Going the other way. And let me go over the hands. Bring them over your eyes, over your glasses, and just soak that in. Flowing through the brain all the way down to the lower dantian. Washing the face. Little tap of the forehead, crown of the head, side of the head, back of the head, back of the neck. Let's come down to the shoulder and a little tap down that, one armed, all the way up the back, coming more into your body, coming over to the other side, stimulating that arm, a bit in the underarms, heart and lungs, down to the digestive organs, up one side, down the other, make a few rotations here. Tap around your waist, say hello to your kidneys. And then down the legs, outside of the legs, up the inside. Tapping right here at the navel again. Good. You, everybody.
Hey, wow. Thank you, John. It's beautiful. Beautiful way to end the day. And, take note for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to round it up. If you'd like to make any comments after that or anything in the chat, please feel free. I think that was very powerful. Okay. Okay, so we'll do our closing.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hey, well, wow. Okay, let's back to earth. Here we are, breathing in the earth. Inhale and exhale. Okay, feeling that grounding. Your arms up, smiling, looking up towards the heavens, and bringing that down through your physical body. All this energy now reshifting around in your physical body. Now you're letting go of cords. Again, the in from the earth. Exhale. And lifting up towards the heavens. Smiling, looking up, bringing the beautiful vitality, life force, energy now moving, filling your body in new ways. More into balance. And again, lifting from the earth and coming up to the heavens. And bringing that now through the spirit body. And bringing everything into balance and alignment, peace and harmony. And bringing your arms out. And feeling grateful for life. Life is amazing. And all of it's the truth. The more we get truth, the more amazing it is. Wonderful. Coming into the heart, smiling and breathing, and then sending gratitude out to those that you worked with today, your classroom, getting more and more opportunities to share with people and bringing that back into your heart, receiving that you are also such an important part of this class and so loved and appreciated, and shining your light from here in the world as you become shinier. And thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Good job today.
Yes.
Thank you. Great meditation, John. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.